Hello and welcome everyone. I am Q from Q's Views, and we're going to continue with the Monster Book series. It's been a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back, and today we have the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, Mordenkainen's Tomb of Foes. Now, this isn't just a monster book per se, because it has other NPCs and other beings of power. But I wanted to include this book because not only are there creatures in here, familiar ones, but they're presented in a very tasteful way. And I kind of just wanted to go over what the Tomb of Foes has to show in terms of creatures. We are going to get some NPCs and powerful NPCs and those kind of things along the way, but I figured still it would be worth covering. Now, we're not going to spend too much time, but there is a lot in this book concerning storylines and those kind of things. Here we have chapter 1, which is based off the Blood War. Some of you who've played Dungeons and Dragons may already know what this is. If not, I suggest you read about it. Pick up this book or any other books that you can, learn as much about D&D lore across various different storylines as you possibly can. Because not only is it helpful DM tools, but it also helps the player to become more immersed in the worlds that you're campaigning in if you understand the worlds and the storylines behind the events, the NPCs, and the various things that are taking place in these worlds. So, with that said, let's move on to some creatures. I am going to touch here and there on some of the various artwork within this book. There's a lot of great artwork in here, and so we will be taking a look at that as well as we sift through these pages. I just find the artwork in this book to be top notch. And as many pictures as we can take a look at along the way, we will. Another cool piece of artwork on the way to the monsters. And here we can see a nice piece of artwork depicting a demon lord. Just a lot of really cool and tasty artwork and pictures along the way. Here we have some more of the demon world depicted here. There's a lot to do with demons in here if you understand what the Blood War is. Some more really cool stuff along the way. This having to do with elves. Just a lot of really cool artwork throughout this entire book. I know I keep saying it, but hey, it is. And I'd like to show as much of it as we can possibly get to. All right, so here we are at the bestiary, which is the part I was primarily trying to get to. We're just going to glance through some of the creatures that's presented here in the Tomb of Foes. Again, this is not just a straight up monster book, but I wanted to include it anyways because it does include a chapter dedicated to creatures and monsters, which is the bestiary here. So we could take a look and see what's included here in the Tomb of Foes and the creatures that are kind of being connected here through the Blood Wars and what have you. So we have the Owlip and the Astral Dreadnought. Very cool creatures. The typical 5th edition stat blocks and stat block construction. The Balanoth, very interesting creature. And some of these creatures we have seen before, such as the Burbalang. We have the Bone Claw here, very cool artwork. The Cadaver Collector, which is also a really cool creature, along with the Choker. Now, I'm not going to touch on every creature in this section, but we are going to flip through them and just kind of take a peek at some of these. Some of these, of course, we've seen before, such as the Iron Cobra. I really like the way the monsters are presented here. The artwork is fantastic as usual. And I like how, even though some of these creatures have been presented before in various editions of Dungeons and Dragons, that they're being depicted in very different ways here and in my opinion, very interesting ways as well. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you have this book? Have you campaigned with this book? What creatures have you used from this book? Are there any particular creatures you feel that shouldn't be here? And are there other creatures you feel that should be here? Do you feel maybe this is incomplete work? I actually think this book is done pretty great as it is. And with art pieces such as this one right here, I think they really did go the extra mile with including as much as they could in this book and making it cohesive to what's going on in the Blood Wars. And all the various NPCs that are involved from the demon world, of course. Let me get that one better in frame right there. There we go. So again, some of these aren't all monsters. Some of these are NPCs, high-level NPCs, which are presented, of course, in their monster form with their stat blocks. Just some really great stuff. Again, you have the Darrow. Pretty cool. We've seen them before. Here are some creatures and monsters that are tied to their particular demon worlds and that kind of thing. You see the different Abishai and their different colors. So we get a really good breakdown of some of these. Same here with the Hellfire engine. Just some really great stuff. Again, it all looks great. The artwork's great. I like the presentation. Dimnu Pirabo. Just fantastic stuff all the way around. Creatures as well as demons mixed together, none of which would be a pleasant encounter for a party. If there's a particular page or picture that I stop on and you would like me to spend more time on it, all you have to do is pause your screen and you can take a better look. I'll try to keep the book as still as possible, so that way if you do so, it turns out the best as it can possibly be, so you can get a better look if you choose to do that. Yeah, just cool stuff. Really cool, really great. And I felt because the amount of creatures that are in here, not just high-powered or boss NPCs, that this would be worth, that this should be included with the monster and creature books, because there is so many different various creatures and monsters in here. You know, such as the Phoenix right here, the Leviathan, you know, creatures of element. You have your various elementals based creatures. So yeah, very cool book. Again, we're not going to go through every single one, but we are going to brush through the pages so we can at least take a look and see the majority of them. And there's a fair amount of these creatures in here too, and that's the thing, is that's another reason why I felt that this book should be included, because even though there are some, again, NPCs and various powerful boss-like characters in this section, there are also a lot of creatures and monsters. And they dedicated a fair portion of this book to that. And I felt that You know, that's enough merit for me to include in this book, because the truth is, if you didn't have any other book besides this one, especially if you were going to venture, you know, have a campaign that's based around demon worlds, or, you know, similar type or related type of creatures or monsters, you could definitely use this book as your creature book as well, because so much of it is already included with that. Such a fantastic piece of art right here as well. Just love it. You kind of see all the various sections and the different demons, and this is one of those pictures where you have to kind of break it down and kind of look through it several times to get a glimpse of everything that's taking place within the photo. There's just a lot going on, and the artist really put tremendous amount of time into this. Just absolutely fantastic. I would love to have a wall poster of this someday. All right, we're winding down to the last few creatures in this book. Crazy monsters and demons from within the blood realms and the levels of the abyss where the demons reside. Just a lot of cool stuff. All right, we're winding down to the end. Some more cool artwork depicting some more cool creatures. And I want to thank you for taking the time to traverse this very cool and interesting book with me. And I hope you feel as I do that including it in the monster books was a good idea. If for some reason you feel it wasn't, for some reason, let me know that in the comment section down below. If you feel, well, that's not really a monster book, it shouldn't be in here, and my reasonings for including it you don't feel are justified, and please let me know. Or if you agree with me, let me know. But either way, there's no wrong answers. It's all opinion and subjectivity. I do appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to stop by and check this out. Hope to see you in future videos. I will go ahead and read through this briefly. Why do dwarves and Duergars hate each other? How did the world come to have so many kinds of elves? What lies at the heart of the Blood War? The great cosmic struggle between demons and devils that threatens to destroy everything if either side were ever to emerge victorious. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's a very cool read, and I do suggest you take the time to read it if you get a chance. If you own this book, just some really cool stuff presented very amazingly, once again, by the great people at Wizards of the Coast. Thanks again for watching. Be safe out there. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.